Hello, let's see if anyone is tuning in. Let me go to my live stream. Concurrent viewers 1, but I believe that's me. Playbacks 4, I'm not sure what that means. But it's almost 2 o'clock, and as soon as I heard my little bird clock, I'm going to begin. Do you hear it? I do. So what we're going to do today, after a week off for good behavior, is read potentially one complete script by Lily, because it's only 2 pages long. It's a bonus script to Lucasta, Going to Wars. And then we're going to read at least some of her other script, The Edge of Infinity, and I must say I love that title. It's very cool. All right, no one's watching, but I'm sure hundreds of people are going to be joining in the near future. So let's get into it. All right, based on the poem, fade in. Art studio day. A male artist concentrates as he frowns at an unfinished painting on an easel near a window, but the light seems to showcase amateur brush strokes. All right, I don't know why it's but that's a very small point. I would say period. The light seems to showcase blah blah. His scraggly beard indicates it's been a while since he shaved. All you really need to say is if the beard is important, he has a scraggly beard. That implies the rest. Artist, so he has no name. Okay. He frowns harder. Nothing inspires him at the moment. All right, so nothing inspires him at the moment. Pretty much an editorial comment, which I think you would understand as a viewer, having seen him look around the room and frowning. So I would just leave that sentence out. His lover. Okay, we don't know if it's a man or a woman. I guess it doesn't matter. We don't know, of course, that it's his lover just because someone comes in the door. Marches to her. Okay, it's a her. They argue. So this is, as they say, MOS, mit out sound. There's no dialogue specified, so maybe music's playing, or we don't know. He demands privacy. How is he going to do that without dialogue? I don't know. Lover shows. So this is not just a quick little argument because they argue. He demands privacy. The girl, woman, whatever, shows disdain for the unfinished painting. So maybe this lasts, I don't know, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And then he physically pushes her out, closes the door in her face, and he sighs. Immediately regret drags him down. He faces the unfinished painting with remorse. All right, that's a pretty heavy-duty bit of action there. All right, now there's a voice-over. We don't know if it's a male or female. We don't know if it's this guy. We don't know if it's the lover. Tell me not sweet, I am unkind. That from the, I assume this is the poem that it's based on. Nunnery of thy child's breast and quiet mind, toward arms I fly. Artist walks around, art supplies on the floor as if he's navigating a landmine. True, a new mistress I chase, the first foe in the field, and with stronger faith embrace. Stands in front and picks up a paintbrush, a sword, picks up a palette, a horse. All right, I get that. I get the paintbrush being a sword. I don't know how the horse could be a palette. Dabs at paint on the palette that paints. So there's a palette that's already got paint on it. With broad strokes on the canvas. A shield. So the canvas is a shield, not the palette. Artist sweats as he brush strokes. Paint splashes. Splashes on the canvas. So this is watercolors? I don't know. Not a real artist. Passion builds. So painting. So I'm wondering how long this little scene if he finishes the painting, this maybe is more of a montage, I guess, or this whole thing is more of a montage. Again, screen time, this would be like maybe 10 seconds, but maybe that's all it's supposed to be. So literally he's painted some flowers. I don't know, is the audience going to know his love and passion are the vivid flowers? Artist turns. She notices beautiful in the raised an eyebrow. He gets an idea. Flicks a glob at lower. She laughs as she wipes. So either she's very close or he is a very good shot with his paint. Fists and throws it at the artist. I don't know where she gets the paint glob. I guess it was what hit her cheek. I don't know if there'd be enough there to throw back. Laughter dampens. Hands wrestle their bodies covered in plain water. They tumble on the floor. Kiss. Yet this inconsistency is such as thou too shalt adore. I could not love. Why I loved I not honor thee more. So yeah, that's a nice short based on this poem. So basically he gets inspiration from her, and maybe it's something they do all the time where she makes him angry or they fight and then she leaves and that inspires him to paint. That's what I take away from it. Yeah, I'd say well written. A few little things that I pointed out, but I'm not the master. All right, let's move on. From what I understand, and I met Lily, so to speak, or she offered her scripts on scriptrevolution.com, an awesome website. No money is exchanging hands for me saying that, but she, I think, writes mostly shorts, and I think she told me a lot of them are sort of dark and edgy, and this one, Lucasta, sorry for the mispronunciation, is probably a lighter one, and I would definitely agree. Nothing objectionable there. So well done. And so now let's check out this feature. And disclaimer as always, I've never gotten through a complete feature in one session. I have read a couple in two parts, or occasionally whatever I don't get through because of time constraints, I will read and then send comments to the screenwriter if he or she cares to get them. So, and disclaimer number 2 or 3, as always, if I just am not feeling it, I put myself under no obligation to read any given amount of pages, but I always hope that I'm going to love it and read several pages. Oh, it looks like 2 people are watching. If you want to join the chat, I've gone back to my streaming page so I can see your chats. All right, let's get to it. The Edge of Infinity. I like that name. All right. Exterior dark shaft. I'm trying to picture this because I was thinking interior, like we're inside some sort of a tunnel or something. Dark shaft. Dark shaft. I'm trying to picture that, and I'm not having any luck. All right, here we go. Eden Lake 20 clings to a crumbling dirt wall. So it's like a well, maybe? Clings to a crumbling dirt wall. I don't know how you could cling to a crumbling dirt wall. She could try to cling. Okay. Very well written in terms of a novel. I don't know how the audience could possibly know that she's beautiful beneath layers of broken memories. You could certainly see the streams of filthy tears. I don't know how the audience is going to know that under all that grime, ancient forgotten magic. So this is kind of a shortcut way of telling the reader stuff that will hopefully be talked about or shown in the script, but nothing that an audience watching this could I don't know how you could possibly know that unless Eden is a most amazing actress. Worms. Neolithic worms. Ugh. Snails drip along slide. This is... She cringes and claws at the dirt. She tries to hold on. So she clings to a crumbling dirt wall. I'm trying to picture, I don't know if she's climbing out of it. She's on some sort of a ledge. So that's a little unclear to me. Tries to keep breathing. Tunnels into the shaft. So it feels like this should be interior, but maybe it's like a well with an open top, and then there's a horizontal beast, or not horizontal beast, but this beast is tunneling in through like a horizontal tunnel, maybe. Wow, these are a lot of words, a lot of big words. So we've got Neolithic worms. I mean, this is very descriptive, but I don't know what those exactly are. Sumerian hybrid monster. I should probably look up Sumerian. Hold on a minute. I'm going to look it up on another screen so you won't see it. Sumerian. Sumerian language is one of the earliest known written languages. So it's a prehistoric, not really prehistoric. So a nasty monster. Let's just say that. Okay. Sumerian hybrid monster. Snake-like scales, 4 twisted legs, feet with eagle talons. Lion's head and wolf. Wow. 2 sharp horns. Dirt flies out of its mouth. Its wide mouth and blasts Eden with the loudest roar. The loudest roar. I'm not sure what that means. Unless it's been roaring, and then it goes roar. Let go. She falls, endless scream. Was I not pure once, before the dreaming, before the nightmare? So she's asking a question, but then these are statements, before the dreaming. Interior, dark. All right, so that's a little teaser. All right. Very sci-fi. Dr. Cortex taps. All right, so that is a little confusing. I'm sure the person's name is Dr. Cortex, and whether it's a man or a woman, which we don't know, and maybe it doesn't matter. I'm trying to see. Don't know. Anyways, I would not capitalize taps. A, you don't need to, and B, it almost looks like the person's name is Dr. Cortex Taps. Oh, it's a him. I'm sorry. I totally missed that. So anything you can do to unconfuse the reader, the better. All right. Dr. Cortex Taps a viper snake. A viper snake? I don't think you first need to capitalize snake, and second of all, I don't know that you need the word snake there. A viper is a snake, isn't it? Strikes the air. Where is the viper? Is it on the desk? Is it on the floor? Is it in a cage? Is it in a box, in a jar? An albino rhinoceros sobs in a corner and floods the thin carpet with tears. Holy smokes. All right, this is a heavy fantasy science fiction. I would not capitalize sobs. Eden sits on a chair as she squints at the only window. Spring sunlight. Do we know? See, how would we possibly know it's spring sunlight? Why not? Let's just say sunlight. Winks between slats of the drawn blinds, but none of it helps to drown the noise in the room that enhances her hangover. Oh my goodness. All right, this is, I mean, very well written, but it feels like I'm reading a novel. I don't know how. I'm trying to think visually. We see her sitting in the chair. We see sunlight winking through the slats. I like that winking. That's a cool visual. But this sentence right here, I don't have any idea how that would visually come across. So we don't know. We assume this was a dream. It says that she was hung over. So I'm guessing this is a dream, but we don't know. Could be a flashback. Could be a flash forward. Eden. Where are you today? You wouldn't believe me. Try me on the edge. Ooh, on the edge of infinity. Creature companions. No one sees what you see. That's not a question, Doctor. All right. Would you like me to try a role-playing game? You're not my type. I like this dialogue right here. Would you like to try a role-playing game? I'm not sure how this relates to that, but that's all right. We're getting nowhere. I want to try something radical, if you will. Switch roles on the patient. Okay. I don't know that he would really need to say this. I want to try something radical. It's kind of on the nose a little bit. He could just say, we're getting nowhere. Beat. I'm the patient. You're the... I don't know. How do you feel today? Terrible. My patient is a talented artist with the potential of great success, but she refuses to accept it in the fantasy world. I don't blame her. Fair point, however, fantasy is killing her. Have you considered honesty? You never change your stagnant. Is that not a form of death in a way? But you never remember your deaths. You're deeply traumatized from years of broken memories. Is he speaking generically, or is he talking about her? And if so, then obviously he's flipping back into his doctor role. Oh, yep, and that's what she says right there. Okay. Very good. Very well, my patient frustrates me to no end. She came to me years ago and begged for help. So this is a clever way of laying out some backstory and exposition. So bravo for that. Very tricky. Get drunk. Huh. All right. I like this. Other than off reaction, which we don't know what the reaction is. So maybe it would be apparent, but maybe you could just write it over here. All right. All right. Nice scene. Exterior black metal door. The Haven under the letters. I might put that in quotes, very small thing. A down arrow, industrial goth music beyond the door leads to. So you're just doing an audio segue here, basically, because it's not physically, visually leading to it. It's leading us to the next scene, which I guess is fine. A little... All right, the Haven. So now we're inside an underground nightclub in a church basement. Interesting. Red ceiling like circular walls embedded with human skulls. Column bar tables with just enough space for drinks. A packed dance floor chain swing for false promise of sex. Nice place. Bartender rushes to refill drinks as a crowd of professional drinkers compete for shots at events. Overlooking a dance floor is a ... So this is, I mean, I'm not saying it's good or bad, but it's kind of a good common way to lead you through a script as opposed to maybe a shooting script. Because I guess, well, maybe the shot would be you cut to a shot where you see the DJ booth. But anyways, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just making an editorial comment. All right, Eric Eden's boyfriend. All right, so this is fine, I guess, for someone to know, but obviously at this point in the script, in the story, in the movie, no one's going to know that he is her boyfriend unless there is a picture of her right behind him, or he's looking at her picture, whatever. Obviously, he's going to watch her very drunk at a table with a circle of friends, but maybe we could imply, maybe that would imply that they're boyfriend and girlfriend, or he's just jealous or worried, or we don't know exactly. Sips of beer standing next to the booth. He uses dark seduction, but right now he's frowning. So he's oozing dark seduction, but he's also frowning with concern. That might be a little tricky. DJ pulls the DJ. So Oh, he stands next to the booth. Sorry, he's not the DJ. Pulls. Shouts at Eric. She doesn't know how a garden grows. Not yet. Huh. I like that dialogue, but I don't know what it means. Two. Okay, so a lot of dots here, which I think is fine. It definitely makes you want to keep reading, and I think visually it works because obviously he's crossing to the table. I mean, you could say he starts off toward he starts walking and then we get to the table, but that's fine. It's good. Guzzles a gin and tonic as he complains. So, I mean, think about guzzling while you're talking, while you're complaining. Maybe she guzzles it and then she complains, or slams it down and complains. So again, this is kind of editorializing. How is the audience going to know that something's not right? The music is too slow. Everyone is bored. I don't know how you would maybe rewrite that to make it, I don't know. Layla, aspiring. So again, editorializing, we're giving commentary on a character. You're giving some insight into them, which again, maybe the black nail polish would give everything that we need to know about her. Certainly the audience isn't going to know, probably, although we don't know how she's dressed or anything, but if in fact she is an aspiring moon goddess and poser, then maybe give us some visuals to tell us that. And maybe black nail polish is enough. Jag, gossip monger, okay, again, same thing. Rep, a gentle giant. So Layla is probably a girl, a female. Yes, she is. Jag, I don't know. Gentle giant is a guy. Rep, we don't. Eric is walking over, and Rep is looking around for him. Of course, we don't know who Rep is looking around for. The audience isn't going to know. So I told my shrink to go fuck himself for fuck's sake. Only 2 months until my I don't need it. He's worse than my agent. Agent, nature agent. What? He's worse than my agent. Agent, nature agent? Who is Nate? And why does Jag think that Nate is her agent based on this? Wait a minute. Jag asks the question. Rep answers. Oh, all right. Jag thinks, I'm a little confused. Eden talks. Layla says, agent. Nate's your agent. Is Jag talking to Layla or Eden? I assume Eden, but then Rep says, nah, man, hers. Me, mine, anyone listening? All right, I'm a little confused there. I kind of like the dialogue, but I'm confused. I would just say Eric arrives, period. We don't need and ask because that's what's having here. Having fun. Got E. Got E, not free. This must be ecstasy? I don't know. I'm kind of a square. So, I don't know. Maybe that's a common thing. All right, I'll pay you back. I'm good for it. Jag says to Eric, he got paid today. Rep grins at Jag. My shrinks and want to dance. Layla to Eric, want to dance. Jag to Layla. His girlfriend's right there. To Layla. All right. I'm probably overthinking this. My shrink's an asshole. Want to dance? His girlfriend's right there. His girlfriend. Okay, he's talking about Eden. Okay, just asking how much. I don't get it. 20. I don't get it. Is Layla referring all the way back to that line? I don't get it. My shrinks in it. I'm not sure. If your shrinks in it, okay, it is. All right, Eric discreetly. Okay, ecstasy. Yep, for reps 20 bill as Eden explains to Layla. So I would just say discreetly exchanges ecstasy bill for 20 period or whatever. We don't need this right here because that's what's going to happen. So again, it kind of feels like a novel. You know, he explained, comma, quotes, blah, 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 blah. But in a screenplay, you don't really need that. I was dropped in this reality where everyone thinks I'm crazy. I'm not. They just don't see what I see. I don't get it. Want to dance? Not really. But I love this song. I'll go. Dance for next to Eden, as he says. So again, Eric crouches next to Eden, period. She'll hate you. I got something for you. Feels around for Eric's hand. She'll hate you for that. Who, Layla? He said. Pulls her hand out from under the table. What? Yellow Jacket pills. They stung me. This is my painting, and it's for you. They're only speed pills. I need ice. So he gave her some pills that stung her, literally. Yellow Jacket pills. They stung me. Huh. Again, not familiar with them, but interesting. Holds up her injured hand. Just staggers to the... Yeah, I don't know that I would end every scene like this necessarily, because when you say if you staggered towards, that implies that she's on her way, but if you stagger to, that means you've already arrived there, and yet she's just approaching right here. So very small thing, but I have no big objections with the ellipses. The rhinoceros sits upright on a bar stool as professional drinkers knock back shots. Okay, so this is the rhinoceros from the shrink's office. Mark, he's our own agent, aura of innocence, massa ancient experience. Again, are we going to possibly know this by seeing him? Or is this an editorial comment for the director, the actors? Looks. I mean, he's much older than he looks. Do we know this? I don't know. Get out of my way. I was never in your way. Do I know you another place, another time? My hand hurts. Let me see. Doesn't hurt anymore. Winks. Mark cuts between them and tells us. Again, all right, I'll apologize if I keep mentioning things, but I would just cut it right there and get rid of all the telling and saying and explaining and all that stuff. That's what I would do. And not just because it's me, because I would think it means, that's kind of a typical thing that you would do. All right. The children are getting worried. On your hand, it's fine. I'll just pills. You know what I see. Never do stones on the dance floor as Eric throws his hands up. Oh, this is Mark. You too early. Looks like you're running out of piss off. I don't know if Mark and Eric know each other. You're too early. I don't quite understand that line. Now you've done it. Here she comes. Layla approaches Eric. All right. I won't comment on this by saying that I just did, obviously. I'm waiting for someone. Okay. All right. Warehouse District. Heritage Buildings. Hugs her jacket as she reaches the corner deck. Need a ride. Yeah. Steps off the curb and... All right, so now this is interesting because it's a dash instead of an ellipse. So what does that tell us? That we're cutting to some sort of a... not a fantasy scene, I don't know. Pantomime of a dark dream. So this is a dream, and I guess visually we're saying that the whole thing Well, that can't be right. I was going to say it's pantomime and yet there's dialogue. So I'm not 100% clear on what that means. It sounds intriguing. Struggles to stay in the only light from the window. Dr. Tess talks from the shadows. A pantomime. What did I get here? We all ask the same question. How long have we played this game? Since 1896 when you created me. Whoa. How far back you willing to go, my father? So your father, then forgive the drama doctor. Words elude me. Thank you for remembering. There are two children that played my yard, and this unicorn gave me fragile and perfect. The dragon howled. I tried to warn them, but the wolves silenced my voice. The dragon zoomed down. The dog killed the human, but that was only a dream. My father was there. He let it happen. The children. Or the rape. Oh, interesting. So obviously this is very, I guess, avant-garde, for lack of a better term. She's speaking in dreams, but it is called The Edge of Infinity, so there you go. All right. Hold on, I want to... All right. One or two people may still be watching. So, I mean, this is kind of cool. I don't totally understand it. I won't pretend to. But this is interesting, the rape. So Dr. Cortex, which is, now that I think of the name, Cortex, yes, I just got that. Interesting. He's interpreting this as maybe her father raped her. I don't know. Someone raped her. Modern building, no furniture, layers of dust as if no one really lives there. All right. I mean, you could just end it by saying layers of dust because I think this part of it is implied. Wait a minute. Interior, hall, front hall. But it's... So it's in an apartment. It's in the hall of the apartment. There's no furniture. And the taxi driver is running after her. So he's followed her in for some reason. I thought maybe she didn't pay him or something. So I'm a little confused as to why he ran her in, but I like this. Bad things have already happened. I like that. I like that dialogue. Purse. She digs in her purse. It feels like now she's going to pay him, but apparently not. The snake is back. Snickers along the corner. Cries at the open last. Oh, Eric's there. So maybe they live together. I don't understand. Gasping to a stop. I won't say this again either, but things like, to me, snickers and gasps, I wouldn't capitalize those. No need to. Pretty much off-screen sound effects or something, totally unmotivated by what we're seeing in the scene. Why don't you lock your doors? He's talking to the painting, yet he's talking to Eden. I don't know what. I'm tired eating. Your amnesia affected all of us. Oh, affects your amnesia. All right. So this is another interesting twist. I'm just thinking out loud. Structurally, this is like 96 pages. And so the inciting incident / catalyst would be around 8, 9, 10. So I'm not sure what the inciting incident really here is. So I'll just keep thinking about that. I'm tired of your amnesia because I'm forced to role play. I mean, that's sort of one to know that she had amnesia. You think I haven't tried? I see so much. I work my ass off painting for poor rich people at home. You know what? All this time you said you understand me. I needed to forget the pain of my past. I needed you to So you said you understood me. So past tense, I needed to forget the pain of my past. I needed you. So this is all past tense. Maybe that should be present tense. It would maybe give a more sense of a frustration. I remember your deaths. Well, every lifetime it's the same. No one knows how you forget. We all forget every lifetime. I grieve. I taste the second your heart stops in the back of my throat. Ugh. You made me feel like an idiot tonight. I don't believe you anymore. I'm not sure what he did to justify that. In the bar, he came over, talked to him. So, all right, I'll take your word for it. Don't kill us. Oh, I like that line. Oh, maggots. That's not. Oh, you're already dead. Sags the weight of too many lifetimes. So is he? Again, I don't know if this is fantasy, surrealism. If he literally, this is literally happening, and he's literally doing this, or if this is more metaphorical. No comment on that. Yikes. So the wish is that Eric would shatter or go away or die. That's, okay, kind of crazy, kind of interesting. Metro passenger car. Inconsistent rhythm of the tunnel. Tunnel zooms past in the windows. Impatient passenger grip on the poles. They wait for their stop. All seats are empty. Wait a minute. Are full or empty except for two? Because it talks about impatient passengers unless they're standing. So there's several standing and only two sitting. That's a little confusing to me. But there's Eden sitting on a bench. All right. I don't quite understand that. Unless it's supposed to say all seats are full. I don't know. Maybe not. Across the aisle. Across the aisle, period. Next to the door, period. I'm not sure what that means, unless it's both referring to the old man. Across the aisle, next to the door, comma, comma, an old man with wild hair and laser turns in which he stops. Starts a new sketch. A slick businessman. So the old man doesn't get capitalized, but the slick businessman does. Picks up the sword sketch and hands it back. The old man tells him, okay, I won't say I can't emphasize it enough, but I strongly recommend getting rid of all instances of that. I'm sorry. Bad boy. Stop saying that. All right. It's not from me. All right. So this guy's name is Raphael, which I don't know why he should not be introduced up there. So there are a bunch of passengers. He responds with a helpless shrug. Passengers look away as so he's muttering. So is she off screen? Juniper, because we introduced her down here. So maybe off screen OS. Slowly faces Juna. Where did you come? Don't you already know? The metro stops the door. Oh, stands squeezed between the road, grabs her arm. How can you breathe buried so far in the earth? I can breathe just fine. Let go of me. You shouldn't be breathing. Let go. Hey, let the lady go. Her stop. Student guide. Let her out. By shoving you out the door. Okay. I mean, this is all interesting. I guess when you have this sort of a script that is fantasy, surreal, dreamlike, the dialogue doesn't really have to make sense. And so I can't really criticize it. I mean, because it's kind of cool. How can you breathe buried so far in the earth? I mean, that's a very interesting, but I don't really understand it, but that's fine. Legislation day looks around as people respire. Digital sign flashes. She got off at the wrong place. And then we just cut. Is she going to try to get back on? Is she going to walk? What? I always like to end a scene knowing what's visually what's happening here. Is she... Obviously, she's mad, but what's she going to do about it? Modern coffee house, hand-painted sign on the front window reads here. Nate. All right, Eden's agent. All right, so that's the Nate that we heard about earlier. Agent for artistry, I guess. He appears in his mid-40s, but I don't know his true age. So again, I don't know. I guess that may be good for the reader to know, but I always think in terms of visually, we see a man sipping coffee. And how is the rest of this going to be shown on the screen? I don't know. Non-human creatures pretend humanity. All right, so I don't know what kind of non-bull faces. Okay, going on faces. So this is, well, it's the Hereafter Cafe, so that's why it's so weird. Bull faces vanish. All right, so they're turning into regular people, it looks like. Okay, so obviously fantasy, big budget movie. She's a windblown man. She looks around, she knows that gawking at her. She stops the tune and pulls the chair. I had to walk from the wrong station in the wind strong, so that's why this happened. Were there flying sisters? That is funny. That's a good line. That is a good line. I cut it last night. You like it? Punk Picasso. Well, I like it. You have a photo shoot this afternoon. I forgot your art shows in 2 months. I know. 8 weeks. I'm aware. Look, I'll be a no-show, more dramatic than canceling. You and I can't do a photo shoot. Misunderstanding. That's always good in dialogue. You should have called me for her. Yes, we have a schedule. That's a good question. Why didn't you call him? My phone's broken. You should have called me. Why didn't you call him? So I don't quite understand that. That's fine. My communication here. Can you please find another time? He's checking. Oh, into phone. Oh, okay. Oh, to phone. All right. Sorry, I missed part of that. Why is your phone broken? Windows like a screaming snake, so I killed the snake. Yes, no, that won't do it all. We need both the poor person. Touch. We'll use last year's photo. So he's talking to Eden, obviously, on this line right here. Maybe, ends call, puts the phone down, looks up at Eden or something. But he's bugged telling me, how about this snake? If he told her, I tried. He won't see what I see. Oh, I'm falling together. Interesting. The floor sinks under Eden's chair. Jonathan starts to sleep into a speakeasy. All right, interesting transitions. Yeah, this is interesting. Weirdly interesting. Jazz music blends with clapping audience and lands on a thrust stage. Dust explodes in dark. A spotlight thunks. That's the sound of it turning on. All right. I was thinking of boom, it hits the floor. So I don't know if this is reality or if any of this is reality. Cream bangs shuffles and mutters. Will you love me? Say you love me and I'll live forever. I will pull up the stage. I'll stay in the spotlight if you say you love me. Stay with me and we will all live out infinity under showers of blossoms and rainbows. So I guess this is like a spoken word performance sort of thing. It's interesting. Slow clap. It's Juniper. Juniper. I wouldn't put back to there. I mean, think about it. It's a clever way, but there's no need to put it there. Stares at Eaton with raised eyebrows. So he's staring with raised eyebrows at Eaton. He's not staring at her, who has raised eyebrows. Slightly confusing, but not too much. Okay, so it's reality. You haven't touched your coffee. Oh, good latte. It's America. I knew that. If you want something else, no, this is good. Are you getting stage fright? Why do you say that? Your art show, right? Anxiety. So maybe that bit of her on the stage was a foreshadowing of her having stage fright. Although stage fright for an art show, I'm not sure how that works. I'm not an artist, but I guess you would be nervous. I don't know that I would call it stage fright. Anyways, I'm a bit hungover still. I think you're dreaming. Familiar laugh. Jag and Rep reach the table with Mark in tow. So this is just to remind us who Mark is, I guess. Quick flashback. I guess this is fine. I wouldn't put this because it's obvious what's happening. You missed the Layla show last night. What happened? He sighs as he stands. I'll leave you to your show life tomorrow. Same time I'll be here. Hold up. Do you represent music artists? He started a band. Eden nods as Mark sits on Nate's chair. Ooh, that's a lot of going on. We're going to be big stars. They don't have a first gig yet. Good luck and don't ever call me tomorrow. Don't forget, I won't promise. Don't forget to call me, or don't forget. I'm sure she's saying, I won't forget. Cheek. If you get service, use a self-serve counter. I'll get it. So they're at a cafe. Where they want a free advertising poster on my face. You start thinking about it. I like that. What does everyone want? And Jag says, this is what I want. That's clever. I'm good. Dude, I need a buzz. Mark smiles. He walks off like, oh, you know that guy everyone knows. Mark Layla tried to pick him up last night. Okay. She struck out. I have a theory that most of them be good as mama. He talked to me when last night I didn't even know his name till now. Eric, he's gone. What happened? Our relationship. Oh, shattered. Very nice. Literally, I don't know. That's creepy, but that's good. I like that. This is the best news. We get our party girl back. I never liked Eric, and I have to find a new drug dealer. What about the same guy? Bad. He's a slimy. Coffees. He slimes and brushes his hand. He brushes Eden's hand. Okay, so I have no idea what interior obviously we don't know where we are. That's the whole day. I mean, obviously a kind of a dream sequence, but what is the director / prop person / set designer? Maybe the point is we don't know where we are. If it's a burning hot sun, I'm guessing it's daytime. I mean, we've got branches and cracks on the ground, so it sounds like we're exterior. He shields her eyes against the store. He waits and watches Mark. He's walking through and he smiles, but we're not in there really. No, we're back in the... I mean, this is all very interesting. I'm not sure how this relates to this, but that's all right. Again, no need for that. Back to the Hereafter Cafe. We're in the hereafter. All right, so maybe this is the hereafter. Is this the only coffee house in the city going to? I got other plans. All right, again, how does the scene end visually? Just talking. She says that line, and then boom, we cut. Don't know. Oh, it's windy outside. Okay. Sorry, I should open the windows because it's super humid inside, but sorry, continuing on. Interior penthouse front hall night. Snake eyes glow in the dark, white right now. Good old. Eden pushes Mark to the wall as they kiss. I waited So long for too many eyes. I don't see Grams in a fist and pulls him into the bedroom. Mark's long, but there's only a futon mattress. Oh. Double door closet. Leans back on the closed bedroom door as her creature companions grow restless. So does that mean the snake and the rhinoceros are there? Creature companions? Have we lived before? It took me years to find you in this lifetime. I don't remember you. Do you want to remember? Not remember? Never. I'm okay with that. Kisses hungry. Kisses drags him down to the futon. Sharp edges of memories. He wrestles him deeper in. Okay. Very not quite pornographic, but soft porn maybe, depending how it's filmed. Okay, I mean, interesting. So he's kind of into this afterlife, double world reincarnation stuff too, maybe. Sunlight fills the room, speaks on the naked under a sheet, squints at him as she sits on the floor. The snake. Oh, horror. Squeezes her eye shut behind the rhinoceros. Weeps the tears she can't shed. Oh, interesting. She goes on the floor. Get out. That was a one-night stand. Doesn't have to be. Yes, it does. You don't have time. I don't have time for you. You're not supposed to stick around. And you don't smile at me like that. Like what? I am a dead leaf, an empty blossom. Great piece of bark, a container to hold everything, so that just for a moment, when you're deepest inside, you can forget what that moment has come and gone. Do you understand why you keep smiling? You don't seem to be going anywhere, so you're staying. You don't mind. It's your call. A snake sulks at his listeners. Stay good. Have you seen my pants? Wait, you're leaving? I have to get back to work. What? It's the human thing to do. I wouldn't know. I can show you later. Sure. All right. So I don't mind if you stay, and yet he's leaving. So maybe stay in the relationship. I guess an interesting dialogue. This obviously very stylistic, mini monologue. Not, I wouldn't call it a monologue, but I think you could certainly get away with it in a script like this, in a genre like this. Okay. So we're back in the good old cafe, sitting in the same corner. So the story I'm thinking here, because based again on a 96-page script, we're into the second act. The turning point, big on the Blake Snyder and other people, story-wise, what is the break into two? Traditionally, the protagonist makes a proactive choice and decides to do something. Is that taking Mark home? Is that the jump into two? She's got an art show coming up. She's nervous about it. The agent's worried about her. We don't know what's reality exactly, what's fantasy. She's a very eccentric, artistic, unusual person, which is all fine, assuming the audience is invested in her. I don't know if you would really be sympathetic toward her. I think you've certainly laid some of that. But I'm just trying to think what really is the story driving forward. I guess it sort of is, but I'm not sure structurally what is going on in terms of, like the B story and all that kind of stuff. If we were in Blake Snyder land, this would be like fun and games into Act 2 and the B story developing. Maybe this is the love story, which could be obviously the B story, or the B story and the love story could be separate. Anyways, all right. Nate sits in the same corner, lights flicker, happy warm pants inside is filled with sea creatures. Oh my goodness, all right. Do you see them? See what? Nothing. What were you saying about my art show? I apologize. So this is fine. It's a little bit of a cheat because it draws us back into what they've already talked about. Prominent creators, art buyers at Bangor and Eden. I thought you'd be excited. I am. I just have many things on my mind when I talk. I met someone familiar And I said, if he is, I might break him. 4 seconds. Breathe good. Do you remember when we met? Vaguely, you were at... So they're giving out backstory, but it's such a... I'm not saying this in a bad way. It's so weird that you can... unusual that you can kind of forgive where he says, you remember where we met? And she says vaguely, and then he tells her. And then we were in a desert. That's another lifetime. So again, I'm not saying this in a bad way, but with a script like this, I think you can get away with much more kind of non sequitur, non-traditional, let's say, dialogue. You were mountain of eyeliner determination. I missed the eyeliner. I missed the pumpkin. Is there a point to your story? I'm getting to that. You never had a song. I don't think this line is really needed right here, because there's the point. So I would get rid of that. After your hurt show, you'll have one. You can do anything you want now. If this boy you met, he's not a boy. It's not important. You're right at the edge of greatness. Do we know that? I mean, he tells us that, but what have we seen of her enough to really believe that? Is he feeding her a line, or do we need to see more that makes the audience go, yeah, Nate, we understand, and we are with you on that? Because I don't know what I've seen that would justify that. You have far too much experience with dating guys. Okay, that's a good line. It's sucking me dry. I'm like a winter twig that's too stubborn to fall in a cold wind. After the show, pursuing you mean that always support your creative efforts. My fantasy paintings. We'll see. That's for today. Okay, I like this dialogue for the most part. You'll be fine. Remember, breathe, and do yourself a favor. Take a taxi home. You'll drown out there. Speaking of drama, water won't kill me. Speaking of drama, water won't kill me. I'm not sure what this means. I don't dislike it. Maybe if she just stood up and said water won't kill me, that would be interesting. 4 concurrent viewers. That means maybe myself and a couple others. Having said that, coming up on an hour, I'm enjoying this. I don't know how much more I'm going to read because I've got to mow the lawn before it rains, frankly. But if I don't finish it, which I surely won't in the live setting, I will definitely keep reading this. And maybe I'll make this a part 2. Ooh, maybe I'll do part 2 next week or something like that. 4th of July, Independence Day. All right, let's read some more. Exterior outside of your after cafe. Drenched people run for cover in a dark downpour. So it's day, but it's okay. Zips up her jacket, waits for break-in traffic. Hunch woman while Smith stops. Okay, so hunched old woman whose name is Gabrielle, which is fine, but I would introduce her name here. Well, let go me, it is you. Shall always be you. Where else would my wings go? Tearing, ripping, you torture us all. We're monsters because of you. Drum, you don't belong in my reality. The laughter borders on it. You're older than me, older than dirt, older than the sea. Yeah, get out of my way. My boyfriend's waiting. He's not a real boy. I don't have time for your jet. You have to melt yourself to fit the glass zipper that doesn't. Wow. That is some heavy duty stuff right there. Again, you have the license to do this given what you've set up, but that you have time to mutilate yourself to fit in a glass slipper that doesn't belong to you. That is some crazy dialogue in a good way. Man, 2 concurrent viewers. Everyone else is left. Oh, bummer. Wow, I like that a lot. That is... I'm not... It doesn't belong to you. I'm not sure what the I'm not refers to. I don't. You have time. You have time to mutilate yourself. So I don't could refer to you have time. But I'm not sure. I really like that, but it's a little mysterious. Specials aside with a ring. No one at home. Snake ate my phone. Wow. This is like crazy, trippy, trippy stuff, man. Shudders as she runs across the street. Driver's honk. She steps out of the curve. And okay, here's another one. I mean, I get why this is like fantastical, fantasy, whatever, but this is just confusing. I would maybe just say underwater and just keep it at that, because this is people. If the reader's going to stop and say what, and I don't day night, I don't know. Maybe just boom, underwater. She calls up desperate to hold her breath. Count seconds. Air bubbles float up as she screams. A man's hand reaches down and grabs her wrist, pulls her up to. Oh, he's alive. I always prefer day or night, so I would call that night. And I mean, you could just say penthouse living room. I don't know that you need to separate that. Hugs and she remembers how to breathe. She's soaked to the bone. Water drips. The snake slips into a puddle on the floor. The announcer presses. I assume these are like CG, as opposed to like, I don't know, cartoony or surrealistic people dressed up like these. I don't know. Presses itself against the wall, takes nothing more than a shadow. Take it easy, water's only an illusion. Wrinkles. Pushes him away. How are you? You were broken. Oh, okay. You wished me here. I didn't. What helps her? Helps her out of what clothes? The veil thins. The veil thins. I don't know what he's referring to, but it's very interesting. No need to listen to the archangels. They lost their minds a long time ago, but they're not angels, they're monsters in your reality. I met someone. Yes, I know you shouldn't be here. You're right. I should be out there hanging out with the air particles as well. Wait for you. Your heartbeat drew me here. Your hands pushed me away in your mouth, and what are you? I wasn't sure would it help you, lover, if I still had my Neolithic wings. Oh, he's going to be one of those bugs or something. Holds out his arms, bone crack on the joints. He hisses with pain and leather creaks and says, you're the dragon that gobbled up the children. That was only a dream. Oh, man, this is, I guess, creepy in a good way. Slips a little on rainwater and drops to the floor. Aaron crouched before her. I have a secret for you. The only monster in this story is you. I don't want any of this. What do you want? Crouches before her. What do you want? I want beyond the veil. I hoped you'd say that. Shows his palm on lid of. Oh, great. LSD. Girl, don't swallow. Curves around her and he vanishes into the night. Water runs backwards around a window. Hugs her knees. The heartbeat, the window's glass explodes, clings herself on the floor. She says, furniture, she's not. Furniture that's not there flashes, fights its way onto Eden's reality. Egyptians to a wooden throne carved. Wow, this is crazy. It would be very interesting. I mean, this is just totally me and just a total thought. If somehow drugs weren't involved at all, and again, that's just me personally, but that would be super interesting if she didn't, if all of this, LSD, ecstasy, whatever, if something else could trigger it. I mean, that could make it even that much cooler. Maybe not. Stars rearrange and form the outline of a unicorn. The unicorn comes to life as it hangs in the black sky, turns to Eden in a fierce rage, heaves blood. Oh my gosh. All right. This is very interesting. Page 33. So I'm about a third of the way through. I'm definitely, very intrigued. I don't have more time to read now, but I think I am going to make this a part 2 because I don't think I just want to read it and then give you a couple general thoughts. Although if you want to message me on Scream Revolution or something and let me know if this is in fact you watching, it might not be, but maybe you'll watch the replay. So Lily Blaze, I don't know that that's your real name, but that's fine. It's an awesome stage name or a pseudonym or whatever they call those writers with writers' names, or maybe it is your real name. Anyways, this is, I must say, it's definitely not my sort of, I don't know that I would watch this unless I had read the script and I said, wow, this is going to be interesting. I wonder what it's going to look like. But if I saw it, in a movie theater, Netflix or Amazon or whatever, Well, although the name of it, Edge of Infinity, I might take a look. But very interesting stuff. Well written for the very most part. Not that I'm the expert in this sort of thing, but the dialogue is, I mean, generally very good. It's weird and not always easy to understand what's going on. But again, given the subject matter and the genre, I think that's fine. There's a couple things I pointed out, like when you say, you know, he explains to her, I think you could get rid of all of that. This interior, exterior, I'm not a big fan of. I think you could just call it Fantasy Wastelands, for instance, or just Underwater or something. So just little formatting stuff that might be worth a look, might be not. But yeah, I definitely am going to keep reading this, and maybe I'll make this a part 2. I like it. You got me hooked. I'm sure next week I'm gonna have to go back a few pages to remember what I've read so far. But anyways, nice. Thank you for letting me read this, and I look forward to reading some more. If anyone else is watching this, and you've got a script that you'd like me to do something similar on, I have to say I think this is the farthest I've gotten in one read of any script. I think, maybe not, but very close. I mean, some, frankly, I've quit reading after 3 or 4 pages, but not The Edge of Infinity. So I've dragged this on for a while, but I'm going to end the stream now, and I will see you again. And